Let's learn about instinctive behavior. Instinctive behavior, also known as innate behavior, is behavior that is genetically programmed and does not require learning. These behaviors are typically expressed in response to specific environmental stimuli and are important for an organism's survival and reproduction. Here are some examples. Nest building in birds. Many bird species have an innate ability to build nests using specific materials and techniques, even without prior experience or observation. For example, the weaver bird is known for its intricate nests made of woven grasses, which is constructed using a highly specific series of movements. Migration in birds and fish. Many species of birds and fish have an innate ability to navigate across vast distances in order to reach specific breeding or feeding grounds. This behavior is typically triggered by environmental cues such as changes in temperature or day length. Territorial behavior in animals. Many mammals and animals, including birds, mammals, and reptiles, exhibit territorial behavior in order to defend a specific area or for mating and feeding. This behavior is often highly ritualized and involves specific displays of vocalizations or signal ownership of a territory. Reflexes in animals. Many animals have innate reflexes such as knee-jerk reflex in humans, which are automatic and involuntary responses to specific stimuli. These reflexes are important for rapid response to potentially dangerous situations. Aggressive behavior in animals. Many animals, particularly males, exhibit innate aggressive behavior in order to compete for resources such as meat or territory. This behavior is often highly ritualized and may involve specific displays or physical combat. Overall, instinctive behavior is a critical component of an organism's survival and reproduction, allowing animals to quickly respond to environmental stimuli without the need for prior learning or experience. By studying these behaviors, researchers can gain insights into the complex ways in which animals interact with their environment and evolve over time. Reflex action in detail with multiple examples. Reflex action, also known as reflex arc, is an automatic involuntary response to a specific stimulus. This response occurs without conscious thought or decision. Reflex action, also known as reflex arc, is an automatic involuntary response to a specific stimulus. This response occurs without conscious thought or decision making and is mediated by the nerve system. Here are some examples of reflex actions in humans. The knee jerk reflex. The knee jerk reflex. The knee jerk reflex is a common reflex action in humans which occurs when the patella tendon below the kneecap is tapped with a hammer. Patellar tendon. There is a region called a patella, we know that. And in that region, there is a tendon called patellar tendon, which is below the kneecap. Kneecap is termed as patella, nothing else. But patellar tendon below the kneecap is tapped with a hammer. So there occur a reflex action. This is not the only reflex action our body has. There are many other mechanisms, like when we just accidentally expose our skin to flames, we just retreat our hands without any conscious approach. We just do that. That's also an example of reflex action. This reflex causes the quadriceps muscles in the thigh to contract, which in turn causes the leg to kick out involuntarily. The gag reflex. The gag reflex is a protective reflex action that occurs when an object comes into contact with the back of the throat. So this is a protective reflex action that occurs when an object comes into contact with the back of the throat. This reflex causes the muscles of pharynx to contract, which can help prevent choking. So that is the gag reflex. The gag reflex is a protective reflex action that occurs when an object comes into contact with the back of the throat. This reflex causes the muscles of the pharynx to contract, which can help to prevent choking. The eye blink reflex. The eye blink reflex is a protective reflex action that occurs when an object comes too close to the eye. This reflex causes the eyelid to close automatically, which can help to protect the eye from potential damage. The withdrawal reflex. This is something which I have mentioned earlier. The withdrawal reflex is a common reflex action in response to pain. Thus, reflex causes the muscle to contract and withdraw the affected body part away from the source of the pain. For example, if you accidentally touch a hot stove, your hand will automatically withdraw from the heat. But there are other responses, like there will be an increase in the reflex, like when you touch a hot object, there will be an instant withdrawal of the hand. But when you just accidentally touch very hot, very hot object, your hand will just accidentally automatically withdraw from that, but along with that you will end up crying because of that pain. That is also a reflex action. So this incidents just increase their intensity, like there is some withdrawal of hands from to the extent that we tend to cry. There is a difference. The startle reflex. The startle reflex is a common reflex action in response to sudden loud noises or unexpected movements. This reflex causes the muscles to contract and the body to flinch or jump involuntarily. That is the startle reflex. Then overall, reflex actions are an important part of the nervous system's response to external stimuli, allowing the body to rapidly respond to potential threats or dangers. Allowing the body to rapidly respond to potential threats or dangers. By studying these reflexes, researchers can gain insights into the complex ways in which the nervous system processes and responds to sensory information. So, which are the various reflexes that we just learned now? First one, what is reflex action? Reflex action, also known as a reflex arc, is automatic. That is an automatic process. We won't be controlling that. Automatic. Involuntary response. Involuntary. That's not voluntary. We don't have control over that. So, involuntary automatic response to a specific stimulus. This response occurs without conscious thought or decision making and is mediated by the nervous system. This is something which has connections with nervous system, and this is automatic, involuntary. And here are some examples. First one is the case of humans, like knee-jerk reflex. When we just tap with the hammer, the kneecap portion, like patellar tendon in the kneecap region, is tapped with the hammer. This reflex causes the quadriceps muscles. Quadriceps muscles are there in the thighs to contract, which in turn causes the legs to kick out involuntarily. We will be just kicking out. Okay, so there will be the stimulus acting on the, we are just putting a stimulus into the patellar tendon below the kneecap. Patellar tendon below the kneecap. And after that, there is a result happening in the quadriceps muscles. Quadriceps muscles of the thigh just contract, just kicking out the leg involuntarily. Then the gag reflex. The gag reflex is a protective reflex action which occurs when an object comes into contact with the back of the throat. This reflex causes the muscles of pharynx to contract, which can help to prevent choking. Then the eye blink reflex. The eye blink reflex is a protective reflex action that occurs when an object comes too close to the eye. This reflex causes the eyelids to close automatically, which can help to prevent the eye from potential damage. Then the withdrawal reflex. Withdrawal reflex we have learned, like withdrawing our muscles, withdrawing the body parts associated with pain or a flame, hot object, whatever it may be, by contracting associated muscles. Okay. Then the startle reflex. Startle reflex is something which is associated with the sudden response of sudden noise or unexpected movements, which is startle. That's a reflex action. So these are the examples of reflex action. Next, neural basis of sleep and arousal. The neural basis of sleep and arousal is a complex and highly regulated process involving many different brain regions and neurotransmitters. So the hypothalamus is associated with that. The hypothalamus is a small but highly important region of the brain that plays a key role in regulating sleep and arousal. The hypothalamus contains a cluster of cells known as the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN. We will shortly represent that suprachiasmatic nucleus as SCN. which acts as the body's internal clock and helps to regulate the sleep-wake cycle, SCN. Suprachiasmatic nucleus. Suprachiasmatic nucleus, which acts as the body's internal clock and helps to regulate the sleep-wake cycle. The hypothalamus also regulates the release of hormones that are involved in promoting sleep and arousal, including melatonin and cortisol. Now we are going to learn about the hypothalamus portion, which is associated with the sleep and arousal cycle. So we have learned that there is a region called SCN, or suprachiasmatic nucleus, which is associated with the sleep and wake cycle and also acts as an internal clock which helps to regulate the sleep-wake cycle in case of humans. Suprachiasmatic nucleus. Suprachiasmatic nucleus. So that region is very important. Along with that, hypothalamus has some hormones which are associated with this sleep and wake cycle. So, which are the melatonin and cortisol. The reticular activating system. The reticular activating system, or RAS, reticular activating system, is a network of neurons that runs to the core of the brain stem and is responsible for regulating wakefulness and arousal. The RAS receives input from sensory systems throughout the body and sends signals to other regions of the brain to help to maintain state of wakefulness. So RAS is something which is associated with the wakefulness and the arousal. So the RAS receives input from sensory systems. What is RAS? The reticular activating system. Reticular activating system. So this reticular activating system is something which is related with the wakefulness. This is a region of network of neurons. Earlier we have learned a neuron portion, a cluster of cells. Like similarly, we are learning the next one. The suprachiasmatic nucleus is also a cluster of cells, but now the reticular activating system. Suprachiasmatic nucleus, suprachiasmatic nucleus, and reticular activating system. The reticular activating system is something which is associated with the wakefulness, responsible for wakefulness. The RAS receives input from sensory systems throughout the body and sends signals to other regions of the brain to help maintain a state of wakefulness. The RAS is also thought to play a role in the regulation of REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, a stage of sleep characterized by rapid eye movements and vivid dreams. In the phase of rapid eye movement, we just see dreams, vivid dreams. So this RAS region, reticular activating system, is something which is associated with wakefulness and the rapid eye movement sleep, or something which related with the eye movement, rapid eye movement, along with vivid dreams. The neurotransmitter systems. Earlier we have learned that hypothalamus is associated with that, and in that associated regions of hypothalamus there are some portions where clusters of cells are situated, like SCN. Then some other portions like RAS. RAS is something which is associated with wakefulness and vivid dreams, rapid eye movement, sleep, etc. And hypothalamus produce some hormones like melatonin and cortisol, which is related with the sleep-wake cycle. Next is the neurotransmitter systems. There are several different neurotransmitter systems in the brain that are involved in regulating sleep and arousal. For example, neurotransmitter serotonin is thought to play a key role in promoting wakefulness and regulating the sleep-wake cycle. For example, the neurotransmitter serotonin is thought to play a key role in promoting wakefulness and regulating the sleep-wake cycle. Drugs that increase serotonin levels, such as selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, can lead to increased wakefulness and reduced sleep. Similarly, the neurotransmitter acetylcholine is also important for promoting wakefulness and alertness, while the neurotransmitter gamma aminobutyric acid, which is shortly represented it as GABA, is important for promoting sleep. So, in short, when we just learn about the neurotransmitter systems, we can say serotonin is something which relates with the wakefulness, promoting wakefulness. Along with that, acetylcholine is also important in promoting wakefulness, but GABA is something which is associated with increasing sleep. So, serotonin and acetylcholine increase wakefulness. Acetylcholine and serotonin wakefulness, but GABA sleepiness. Circadian rhythms are a natural internal process that regulates the sleep wake cycle in most living organisms. These rhythms are controlled by the SCN in the hypothalamus, which helps to synchronize the body's internal clock with external cues such as light and temperature. Disruptions to circadian rhythms, such as those caused by jet lag or shift work, can lead to sleep disturbances and other health problems. Overall, the neural basis of sleep and arousal is a complex and multifaceted problem involving many different regions of the brain and neurotransmitters. By understanding the underlying neural mechanisms of sleep and arousal, researchers can develop new treatments for sleep disorders and other conditions that affect the sleep wake cycle.